Hey, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Boon of Wireless Podcast, now part of Wirelo. Yes, Wirelo, revolutionizing the way businesses in the wireless industry connect, collaborate, and thrive. As a premier B2B marketplace, Wireless platform is designed to cater specifically to the needs of the wireless store vendors in America. Wirelo.com. Check them out. I am your host, Jon Horovitz, coming to you as always, high above the streets of northern New Jersey at Jay Media. Yes, New Jersey. We love it here. I'm not sure why, especially with this bone-chilling weather and the snow that won't go away, but the skiers, the snowboarders, and the skaters are really enjoying this. Andrew, behind the glass, as always, is a pleasure to see you.
It's always good to be seen, John.
That's good. Do you and your family enjoy this this weather?
No.
Why not?
It's just too cold, John.
You're not enjoying what New Jersey has to offer with the skiing, snowboarding, and...
I prefer cocoa.
Before cocoa. Okay. All right. Let's get into this now. My guest today is the Associate Vice President of the Indirect Channel for Verizon Value, a diverse portfolio of prepaid brands, including Straight Talk, Total Wireless, Visible, TracFone, Verizon Prepaid, Simple Mobile, Walmart Family Mobile, and SafeLink, and they're now serving more than 20 million customers nationwide. In this role, Jay Miglionico is responsible for the growth of Verizon's value retail operations, including Total Wireless, which has achieved the largest retail expansion in Verizon's history and is the fastest growing prepaid carrier in the industry. Under Jay's stewardship, Total Wireless has opened more than 2,000 stores across the country and has established relationships with the nation's leading master agents, helping to ensure health, growth, and profitability for both the brand's partners and for the brand itself. Previously, Jay served as Vice President of Sales, Operations, and Distribution for the retail wireless business at Dish Network and held a number of senior leadership roles at Boost Mobile and others. Jay is known for his operational expertise and success in revenue generation and has consistently delivered results in distribution growth, channel optimization, and strategic partnerships throughout his career. Jay also excels as a strategic partner developer and relationship builder, focusing on cross-functional coordination, team development, and organizational competency to meet and exceed company goals. Wow. I wish I had that on my resume, all that. But anyway, so please join me in welcoming to the broadcast, Jay Miglionico. Jay, how are you?
John, hey, great to be here, my man. Good to see you again. You and I... It seems like we always come back together, man. You know, we've had the opportunity to work together in the past, and it's great to see all your success with the Boon of Wireless.
Thank you. Thank you. And your success based on your accomplishments and what we just talked about is off the charts as well. I actually saw you at a Christmas party a couple months ago at one of the master dealers. We had a great reunion, and I hope that we continue now that you're coming to New Jersey with Verizon probably more than you want to, but we love New Jersey.
I love New Jersey. It's very much like Ohio, John. I heard you talking about how cold it was, and you feel like home.
Jay, good to have you on here. Let's just jump right in. So, as I mentioned, you've been in the wireless space for quite some time. Why don't you give our listeners and viewers a look at your background and how you got to where you are now with Verizon?
Thanks, John. It's been an amazing ride, right? I can't believe it. You wouldn't know to look at me, but 24 years in the wireless business. And it started way back when I was a broke college kid walking into a Sprint store. And the entire reason of going to that Sprint store, John, was to negotiate a free month of service because I had $0 to my name, needed to keep my phone on. And, I guess... I had something because I walked out with that free month of service and a job offer to become a sales rep, Sprint. Yeah, so it was interesting, right? So it started way back when I was a frontline rep working in a Sprint store. And my career grew from there. I spent the first 9 years of my career working on postpaid, both in company-owned retail, national retail, and local agents. And then the opportunity came to move over to the prepaid side of the house with Boost when Boost was a part of Sprint and joined the Sprint prepaid group. And I'll tell you, what an amazing journey, right? my exposure on postpaid to our agents were, even back then in 2007, these agents were massive in terms of their scale, their capabilities. What was really interesting is when I moved over to Boost, you know it because you used to run Boost. I mean, everything at Boost ran the gamut from an owner operator all the way up to kind of those large scale operators that we have. So I immediately fell in love with kind of the entrepreneurial spirit of the channel, and continued my career, right? From 2011 through 2023, I had kind of escalating areas of responsibility within Boost. And, we talked a little bit about DK, right? Your previous guest. I had the opportunity to meet DK in 2012, and quickly formed a great relationship with him, great working relationship with him, where, I joined his team later on. 2020 rolls around. Sprint is purchased by T-Mobile. Boost is spun off, sold to Dish Network. I stayed at Dish for 3 years, was promoted to a VP of Indirect. So I ran the Indirect Channel at Boost. And then, at that point in time, after 20 plus years, I was ready for a little break, right? So, I took a gap year, got to enjoy traveling, spending time with my 9-year-old son, and really enjoyed it. And as I was coming off of my non-compete, I started looking around, right, at what's next for me and what's next for my future. And, reached out to my old pal, DK, and he had an intriguing opportunity, which was to join Verizon Value and really take over general management of the indirect channel. So, we're focusing today on Total Wireless, but my responsibilities here also include Simple Mobile and Verizon Prepaid in the authorized retailer space. And it was a great fit, right? I was super excited to join a brand that there was growth. And that's something to me that I think I enjoy the most in my career, is being able to build things. So Total provided that vehicle for me for what I wanted to do. And I'm so blessed to have joined Verizon, because we've got an amazing leader in David Kim as our president of Verizon Value. But I'm also very blessed because I have a tremendous team supporting me in the value indirect space, both internally with the folks that work at Verizon and with all of our retailers and master agent partners, both with Total Wireless and in the authorized retailer space. So I couldn't be more pleased.
I had David, or DK as we call him, on the podcast in 2025. And we're talking about his journey. And I said, why Verizon? And he said, because it's Verizon. 2,000 stores in a very short time. What has been the secret sauce in getting this done?
I got to tell you, I'm incredibly proud of this milestone that the team has achieved. And, when you think about Total Wireless, we had a massive rebrand after DK joined, I think right after he did your podcast, or right before he did your podcast. But, we rebranded in July of 2024, and it's been off to the races ever since. In 2025, we built 1,100 new stores, which is just amazing growth, right? And I think the secret really comes down to three things. It's the partners we do business with, our dealers and our master agents, the value proposition that we've created, and the customers that we serve. So, when I think about those, first, our dealer community has been absolutely critical to our success. And when I think about our dealers, these entrepreneurs, these folks that are putting it on the line every day, making a bet on themselves and making a bet, frankly, on our brand, Total Wireless, they've done a great job being ambassadors in their local communities and building Total Wireless into the powerhouse that it is today. When I think about our value proposition, John, we've listened to our customers, and our customers have been, I think really thinking about, hey, what does wireless mean to me, right? It starts with an amazing value proposition, riding on Verizon's 5G network, starting at only $40 a month. It's giving them clarity, reliability, and premium network access at a really affordable price. And then third, our customers have embraced what we've offered, right? We've come into, what some people may call a crowded room, You think about, the exclusive retail players that are out there in Metro, Boost, and Cricket. Those guys combined have, more than 14,000 stores serving 40 million customers. So, this is us coming in and really shaking up the industry, giving customers what they want, getting rid of those hidden fees, deprioritized data, the constantly changing prices. So we've done a good job, I think, listening to what they want, and they've responded very well.
And I know that you're not going to share specific numbers, but from my understanding and talking to folks in your channel, the compensation for the dealers is fantastic. And you also help with the store build out. I mean, you're covering all bases, it looks like.
We do. And, what I tell you is in a time in the industry where, there's a lot of consolidation, a lot of optimization, I'm proud to support Total Wireless as the fastest growing prepaid carrier in the industry. And, John, to get to that level of success, you have to build a business that is for the dealer, right? And that's something that, something that DK and I really share in our philosophy. And part of the reason why I was so excited to join DK here at Verizon is we kind of think about it the same way, right? Is if you're going to build a brand, if you're going to build a channel, you've got to do right by the entrepreneurs that support you. So, I think we've got a tremendous compensation plan, an amazing program to help retailers scale quickly with MDF, with signage incentives, in helping them really build just tremendous footprint across this country.
I also preach that a successful wireless provider must have a differentiator to succeed in what you call the crowded room. We get calls to our company all the time about people that want to join the MVNO space, and we say, what is your differentiator? Why would I leave Verizon or Mint or whoever to come with you? A lot of them don't know. With Verizon, what is that differentiator for Total? Is it price? Is it the Verizon name? What do you pitch when you're going out for getting dealers? Or are you having dealers knock on your door saying, I want to join the party?
The way I think about it is really there's two sides to it, right? It's, hey, what differentiates us with the consumers in a very crowded space, specifically in prepaid? And then, what differentiates us with retailers that want to join? So let me kind of tackle that two ways, John. Let's start with the consumers. When you think about Total Wireless, I think a big part of our differentiation is our network. You kind of talked about it during your opening and talked about all of the awards that the Verizon network has won. And there's a couple that really ring true to me. The most recent was Root Metrics, second half 2025, announced in January 2026 as ranked number one in network quality across 5 regions. And then you look at JD Power. We've racked up 35 consecutive awards from JD Power in terms of network quality. So it starts with the Verizon network. I think another tent pole in our offer to our consumers is our 5-year price guarantee, right? You've been in wireless, you've seen it time and time again, where you've got companies that are raising prices to pad their bottom lines. Total's not about that, right? That's why we put our money where our mouth is with a 5-year price guarantee. And then the last thing for the consumers that I tell you is really it's our distribution footprint, right? We're above 2,000 stores in the neighborhood right now. In the neighborhoods that customers do business with, we're meeting them. We're owning the mile relative to ensuring that we're part of the fabric of the community. And I think customers really respect that, right? And then the second part of your question is, hey, why would a dealer want to sign up for Total Wireless? What's in it for them? Well, we hit on compensation, we hit on MDF packages. That's part of it, right? Dollars are a big part of it, but I think they believe in what we're doing, right? Because I think we're doing it a little bit different than the competition has. When I say that, it's about putting the dealer community first. It's about understanding that we have dealers. We have everywhere, John, from a single owner operator that's working in his store 80 hours a week to put food on the table for his family, all the way up to large retail organizations where we have an operator that has 90 stores across the country. So, making sure that we respect that individual owner operator the same way we do that big operator that has 90 doors, really kind of core to our ethos in believing that the dealers are what build this channel for us.
Have you made the decision to keep this brand out of the corporate Verizon-owned stores, the postpaid stores?
It's a really fair question. I think when you think about Verizon Value, you went through all 8 of our brands during the intro, right? So we've done a really tremendous job really working on what we call market segmentation and understanding each brand has a place that it plays and channels that it works really well in. Total Wireless, our primary focus for Total Wireless is scaling in, what I call the mid-market, right? Large cities across the country where our competitors do business, Metro, Cricket, and Boost. As it relates to Verizon Postpaid, we've got a brand that works very well in it. That's our Verizon Prepaid brand. So at this point in time, we have no plans on bringing Total Wireless into Verizon stores. I think there's clear delineation based on the segmentation of why Total makes sense in the indirect channel with our entrepreneurs.
So you're supporting the master dealer. I know quite a few of them. They have nothing but positive things to say about how Verizon has embraced this channel. Are there any other channels that you're currently looking at for the brand outside of the master dealer?
And I think for us, when we think about where we're going to go, our number one opportunity is to scale beyond the 2,000 stores we're at. That is my primary focus today for this brand as we build. I told you our competitors have a combined 14,000 store footprint. That's what we're chasing after. So we're still, we're making waves, but, location by location counts. We're still the small kid on the block, right? So right. I think for us, we've got to continue to grow. We've got to level up in markets that, we're not at parity with the competition. I think that's where we're going to focus our efforts and energy.
Speaking of the amount of stores, when DK was on last year, he said the goal was 4,000 to 5,000 total stores. How are you tracking to that 4,000 to 5,000 locations? I mean, you put on 1,100 alone in 2025.
You mentioned DK. I've had the opportunity to know and work for DK for many years. He's an ambitious guy, right? He's also a guy that is, when he gets an idea in his mind of something he wants, he goes after it, right? So every day I wake up to a text message from him, which is interesting because he's, 3 hours behind me West Coast time, but it said, "Hey, how many stores did you build yesterday, Jay?" Right? And every day we go through that dance. So I'm happy to say, John, we're building on average about 3 stores a day right now,
wow.
which is tremendous, right? I mean, yep. I've had the opportunity to do this for the past 15 years in the prepaid wireless space. Never have I been a part of anything that's built and scaled this quickly. So I think we're on the right track. What's really encouraging to me is the quality of growth that we're seeing. And when I think about it, it's not just throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. We are very methodical in terms of where we are building stores, where we're meeting our customers, and candidly, where we're going to go steal share from the competition and give their customers, what I would argue is the best deal in wireless. So the stores that we've built, it's really encouraging the quality of performance that we're seeing out of them, whether it's, the number of gross ads, the tremendous retention that we're seeing. It's been great. So, I think DK's vision of, 4,000 to 5,000 stores really remains kind of our North Star that we're chasing after. And, he'll continue to ask me on a daily basis, "Hey, Jay, how many stores you build yesterday?"
I would say not enough. There's more coming. Let's take it from Verizon and your infrastructure of when you're putting new dealers on and the process to vet them and all that good stuff. What are your expectations of a dealer when you put them on it? And What direction is your team giving them to be successful, again, in this crowded field?
One of the things that's important to me is having dealers that want to do it the right way. And John, you've spent many years in the indirect space working with third-party entrepreneurs, right? So you can probably attest to, the swings of phenomenal entrepreneurs to, hey, this is probably somewhere where I want to park some money and be able to, have a hands-off type of approach, right? Those are not the dealers that we want to do business with. When you think about the opportunity for us, we are very discerning in terms of the retailers that we accept into the program. And there are a couple different reasons for that. One, DK said it best. This is Verizon. This is the gold standard, right? We want people to support Total Wireless and the tremendous growth we've had with the same passion and the same reverence for the brand and what we do. So that's first and foremost. Number two, we want folks that are deeply committed to their communities, right? As somebody who's worked in indirect, you can probably attest, like, the best retailers that are out there are the ones that do a great job building those bridges within their community and driving that referral business. And then the last thing I'd tell you is we're looking for dealers that are entrepreneurial minded and really growth oriented, right? We're not even halfway there in terms of the growth that we need to see from this brand to become this national powerhouse that we aspire to be. So we're looking for, committed dealers to come and join us along the ride. It's going to be a very successful ride. And I can't wait for them to understand how much more this brand has to offer. Because I tell you what we've got now is really the tip of the iceberg. Between DK's leadership and the tremendous support we get from our commercial team and our marketing team, I'm excited to see the future evolution of Total Wireless in the indirect channel as we move forward.
If I'm out there listening or watching this podcast right now, and I say, hey, I'd like to open up a bunch of Total Wireless stores, what's the process?
That's a great question. So, I think you're going to throw up a QR code for your viewers that's going to take you to totalwireless.com. First step would be submitting your interest on totalwireless.com. There's a button that says, hey, I'd like to become a retailer, become a dealer for Total. Click it, and then my team handles the rest. First step in that process is to introduce you to one of our 16 master agents. And depending on where you're based, geographically across the country, we'll give you a list of every master agent that does business in those markets. And my advice to dealers who ask me this is, with 16 master agents, you have something for everyone, right? If you're interested in a phenomenal MDF package, if you're interested in master agents that have tons of experience scaling their retailers, if you're looking for somebody that has back office expertise to help you build a comp plan or build a good commission reconciliation engine, that is the tremendous support that our master agents provide to our retailers. So you're going to find a choice out of our 16 that is really going to tailor fit your needs as a retailer, right? From there, you have a conversation with my field team. It's a little bit of an interview process, right? Hey, you want to become a dealer? Let's talk a little bit about the business. Let's talk a little bit about your financials. What are your short-term, medium-term, long-term plans? And then from there, we're off to the races, right? And between our master agents and my field team, we will help find locations in areas that are going to suit your business, right? Different strokes for different folks, right? Not every Total Wireless store or every retailer is going to be created the same. So we take a lot of pride in terms of tailor fitting the locations that we put our retailers in into the type of markets that they will be successful in. So it's a little bit of a tailored approach as we go, but the process is very quick and easy, and we are accepting applications for new retailers at this time. So we'd love for you to come build your legacy with Total Wireless and join us as we look to level up the industry.
But do you also look at opportunities and go after them saying, hey, here's a guy that has 10, 8, 25 locations, and maybe he's not happy with his current brand that he's offering. Do you go to them and without getting into any legal issues, say, hey, have you thought about switching over to our brand?
Total Wireless does not talk to any other carriers' dealers that are out there at a corporate level. What I would tell you is, our master agents, they're looking for the right type of dealers. Just because you're a dealer with somebody else, candidly, doesn't mean we want you on our team, right? So, I think it has less to do, John, with do you do business with a competitor, and more to do with are you right for Total Wireless and what we're trying to build together?
Well, today is Thursday, February 19th. And you told me before we came on today that you have a big announcement. So I don't know what it is. Hopefully the listeners and viewers are on the edge of their seats. Jay, what is the big announcement?
Well, listen, John, to celebrate tax season 2026 and to celebrate, how quickly we've grown. And, what I would tell you is Total is the marquee telecom sponsor for the UFC. So I'm going to use a little UFC reference here, right? So Total has stepped up in weight class, right? So we're ready to take on an opponent. The opponent we're calling out is Cricket. And what we're going to do, for every Cricket customer out there, you want to come to Total, we're going to hook you up with a deal. So here's how it works. Beginning today, it actually started yesterday on 2/18, Wednesday 2/18. But from now until March 22nd, every Cricket customer who ports 2, 3, or 4 lines in, we're going to give them a deal. You port 2 lines, you get $5 off our 5G or 5G plus unlimited plans. You port 3 lines, we're going to give you $10 off. You port 4 lines, we're going to give you $15 off. What that means is if you are on a Cricket 4-line plan, you come to Total Wireless, I'm going to give you Total Wireless 5G plus unlimited. That is a plan that gives you unlimited talk, unlimited text, unlimited data, unlimited hotspot, all on Verizon's ultra wideband 5G network, the best of the best, right? According to Root Metrics and JD Power, as well as Disney Plus included. John, 4 lines, only $95 a month. That's guaranteed for 5 years, taxes and fees included. It's a smoking deal, right?
So sounds like, yeah. Well, as they say during this Olympic season, let the games begin.
Let the games begin.
Well, let's see what happens there. That is a terrific offer. Let's see how people react to it. Not only customers that you want to take from another brand, but how that brand reacts as well. Because this is a chess game we're in. Okay. Every move deserves a counter move, and this is good for competition and good for the industry. So congratulations on that promotion. I'm sure your and DK's fingerprints are all over this one. This sounds something that's going to cause some excitement. And I, joined the prepaid business and after doing postpaid for many years with the carriers, and I saw the budget for the first and second quarters. I said, what are you people thinking? And they said, you haven't been here for a tax season, have you? And I said, no, I haven't. We exceeded those numbers at Boost, if you remember. When I said, where are these customers going to come from? John, the first thing people do when they get their refund, they buy a cell phone. So anyway, that's good to see that your timing and attacking this market is terrific. Jay Miglionico, how do we contact, other than the QR code, how do I contact you if I want to join the team as a dealer? Website, reach out to somebody? How do we do that?
Yeah, you can do that on totalwireless.com, John. We've got a Become a Dealer tab. What I would tell you is we get back to any interest within 24 hours, right? That is the edict that I give to my team. So we work very quick. That's the easiest and fastest way. We've got 16 amazing master agents, right? You probably see them all over LinkedIn. They're all doing a great job kind of advertising their services as part of their portfolio. So either way, you can reach out to a master agent directly, or you can come to us, and we will make sure you get the list of all of the master agents we do business with.
You know, we are in trade show season right now, and I don't assume that you're going to be in Barcelona in a week. But what other trade shows here in the U.S. will Total be featured at?
We really focus on the big one every year, and that's the All Wireless Prepaid Expo. Some might even say, John, the Verizon Expo, if you saw the show floor last year. But we will look forward to being back at All Wireless Prepaid Expo this year, big and loud and proud across the show floor.
And as I always say, August in Vegas, it's too hot, so why not stay in Caesars and enjoy the All Wireless and Prepaid show? Okay?
Absolutely.
Jay Miglionico, I want to thank you for taking time. I'm sure that you're expecting a call from DK right now asking you how many stores you've built. So I'll let you get back to that. Just it's a pleasure to see you again. I enjoyed our time together when we were at Boost building these stores. I think we put 400 up in the New York area when you and I were running roughshod over everybody here. So it's good to see that you've taken that blueprint and are having great success with Total. So I want to thank you for coming on. Anything else to wrap up?
No, John, I really appreciate you having me. And I listen to your show every time it comes out. You guys are doing a tremendous job, and best of luck and best wishes on all your future success.
Thank you, and you as well, to 5,000 plus stores. Okay, that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up another episode of the Boon of Wireless Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Do you want to be a guest on the Boon of Wireless Podcast? Give us a call at 908-THE-BOON. Yes, 908-843-2666.